What's going on, everybody? This be your boy
DJ Anonymous.
DJ Anonymous with another episode of Sports Biz Music, and I got a very, very special guest on the show today. Well, tonight I got my dog Furious Stylez. How you doing?
What's going on, man? I appreciate it, man. I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man. Just taking it one day at a time and stuff. You know how that is.
Right. Yeah.
It's crazy how the new year is going by so fast.
Man, I was saying the same thing. I'm like, you look up, that's January. And January almost over.
Almost over. What, next week, the last week, I believe, right?
On the real.
So, but before we get into the questions and the conversation, introduce yourself to the listeners.
All right, what's going on? My name is Furious Stylez, man. I currently live in Memphis, Tennessee, but I'm from East Chicago, Indiana. I grew up in Gary, Indiana every other weekend, man. I started producing when I was like 15 years old. Did that from like high school into college, took some years off, got back into it during the pandemic, man, and just been rocking ever since like 2020.
Okay. I didn't know it's Chicago and Indiana. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like on the border, man. I don't know, maybe it's like when they made the state line, but yeah, I'm from East Chicago. But, all my jobs pretty much growing up were in Illinois, in Chicago and things like that. Like my wife is from Illinois. So like my job's always been out there. So it was like right there on the border.
I noticed that about the Midwest. Like I know like Kansas City. Growing up, I'm like Kansas City. I always thought I was in Kansas, but it's mainly in Missouri. But it's in the borderline. Same thing with St. Louis,
like East St. Louis and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm like, wow. I think the closest I know up North Florida. I'm trying to think. Is it Mobile? I think Mobile is in both Alabama and Florida, and I think Valdosta, Florida. They got a Valdosta in Florida and Valdosta in Georgia. So, but that's crazy. I ain't know that. That's
It throws people off too. When I say I'm from East Chicago, they automatically assume like Chicago, Illinois. It's actually Indiana, but like Chicago was nowhere for me to drive to. You know what I'm saying? I go there. I used to go there all the time and go to different events and stuff like that, and I just come back home to Indiana.
So real quick, like. Is East Chicago like Chicago? Like, how is it? Like, what's the difference?
Yeah, we kind of got the same. Like, think about it, even when it comes to sports. Like, being though I'm technically from the state of Indiana, being that I'm so close to Illinois, we don't ride. Like, we don't represent the Colts. We don't represent the Pacers. We represent the Bears and the Bulls because we're right there by Illinois. Now, Indianapolis, like Southern Indiana, they're more of the Pacers and the Colts and things like that. But we're like the Bulls, the Blackhawks. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. It's all Illinois based. The Bears, because like even our radio stations, when they say it, they'll say what's going on in Chicago and Chicagoland area, which they're speaking about us. So we're part of the Chicagoland, because we all get the same radio stations and everything.
Oh, wow, that's I remember the elders from years ago, like they told me before. For example, before it was Marlins, before we had the Miami Marlins down here with the Florida Marlins, there was like they either root for the Brooklyn Dodgers, the Yankees, or the Cubs or something. Like, cause we had no baseball team down here, so there was like they root for like I know people from Atlanta before the Falcons came. They was actually Dolphin fans.
It's like that in Memphis too. Memphis doesn't have a football team. It used to be, Tennessee Titans actually used to be in Memphis, but now they're in Nashville.
Yeah.
So, like, out here, like, because of that, like, old Memphis people from back in the day, like, nobody rocks with the Titans in Memphis. It's either Pittsburgh fans or Dallas Cowboy fans. I don't know if that comes from, like, their grandfathers and stuff. I don't understand the correlation. But nobody rocks with the Titans out here. It's either Pittsburgh Steelers or Dallas Cowboys. You may have a few other things like 49ers, but nobody rocks with the Titans out here because they in Nashville.
Yeah, I was about to say that too. Football wise, I'm like the older generation. Like I have an aunt. She born in Miami, but she grew up a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Like I don't know what it is with the Cowboys, but anybody that's older love the Cowboys. I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Cause
it's like that out here too, I swear.
Yeah, because South Florida, is Florida in general, but I'm just speaking for like South Florida because that's where I'm from Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And even I think even Lamar Jackson mentioned that he was like where he come from. He's from Broward. He said he either was a Dolphin fan or a Cowboys fan or both. And that's
I don't
just
know what it is with the Cowboys, but everybody loves.
I think because you gotta think about it. The Cowboys, I mean, what other teams was in the South at the time?
Right,
It was
true that.
only the
You're right.
Cowboys. Like you think about it, it was really only the Cowboys because the Dolphins came a little bit later. They came out,
Yep.
I believe, in the '60s. But like Atlanta is new, Carolina, Jacksonville, Tampa was
Yeah, you're
new.
right.
So like, and sometimes I had to think about like, damn, like in the Titans. I mean, you had the Houston Oilers, but they even came a little bit later. If you look at the history, so I'm like, damn, it do make sense. That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. You're right though.
No, that's what's up. I never know. I never knew it was in East Chicago. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like people like like where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't say East Chicago. We like I'm from EC. Everybody know, oh, you from? They know exactly where I'm from. But like even out here when people in Memphis, they're like, oh, they call me Chi-Town because they don't really know. It's hard for me to explain. I'm from Indiana. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? But the fact that I'm right there, people are like, oh yeah, he's from Chicago. I just I just let it ride because I'm not about to break down every time. Well, I'm actually from the East. I'm from Indiana, which is it's too much to explain.
You know what's crazy? I've been to Memphis, and Memphis like that too. When you go over that, I forgot what name of that bridge. You go
West Memphis is Arkansas.
Yeah, it's in Arkansas. I'm like, damn.
Like, yeah, it's same shit, exactly same thing. But like if you're not from here, like you'll have to explain that every single time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like instead of me trying to tell people I'm from Indiana or whatever, but yeah, I'm Chicago. I just leave it at that because and if people in Chicago know, like he's from because like it's kind of pretty much besides like the driving, they drive faster than we do. It's pretty much like the same morals. You know what I'm saying? They know. So it's like, so we moved the same. I was in Chicago all the time. A lot of my dudes is from Chicago. So it's like I was out there. So it's like they know what it is. I can claim like I'm from Chicago. They ain't gonna be like he's from there. I don't claim no certain hoods and nothing like that. But like they're like, yeah, he cool. He from the crib. They just say he from the crib.
So it's kind of like my wife. She's from New York. Like she was born in New York. So the New York. They be like, they don't even claim Staten Island. But I'm like, that is a fifth borough. But
exactly.
If you from like where Jadakiss from? They from
Yonkers. From Yonkers.
I didn't even know that's technically not the city. So I'm like,
no, it's not.
I like break it down. She was like, "Is Harlem? Was it Harlem, Staten Island, Brooklyn, the Bronx, Queens?"
Exactly.
And then like she said, Yonkers is out of the city. Long Island.
And so it's Buffalo.
Buffalo, all that. I mean, of course, Buffalo, but I'm thinking like, dang, Long Island right there. But she said that's not the city. That's like the outskirts. She says like if it's like, for example, like in Chicago and you got East Chicago, it's like it's the same, but it's not the same. It's like the suburb.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. But people know what it is, though.
So.
Yeah. The same thing.
I kind of get that too. Like growing up, I should tell people like before Broward blew up in the music scene. I should tell people Broward is not Miami. Like Miami, like it's two different counties.
Right. That's Dade County, right, Miami?
Yeah, Dade County, Fort Lauderdale, Pompano, all that Dalefield, that's Broward. Then West Palm Beach, you got Palm Beach, you got Belle Glade, Polk County. That's I mean not Polk County, Pahokee, all that's Palm Beach.
Broward, that's like where Ace Hood from, right?
Yeah, Ace Hood, Kodak. Pretty much all the majority of the artists that's from Florida that pop from I want to say 2012 on
right.
Like they all from Broward, and it's funny how like a lot of artists they claim Broward. Back in the day when I was DJing a lot,
they never claimed it.
Yeah, they never claimed it. I'm not saying that because I knew a few artists that did claim Broward to the heart, but majority of them was like, I'm from Broward, but I'm from Miami. I'm like, no, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But now, they got more of they more hot now, technically. So they like, nah, I'm from Broward, man. And
Right.
So even like people from like out of town, when I hear certain interviews, I'm like, I be trying to, I be thinking, I'm like, it's the same because we South Florida, but it's different counties, So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, man, that's what it is. Like I went out to L.A. and growing up, I always thought Anaheim was in L.A. It's like hell no, Anaheim is its own county. Like it's it's crazy, man.
Yeah, when you go to a certain place, mugs will let you know. They're like, oh no, he cool. Like even like out here, and I meet people and they'll say like I hear such and such from Chicago too.
Yeah.
And and I meet people and they be from a suburb in Illinois. I'm like, nah, because I'm not from Chicago, Illinois, but I'm from East Chicago. And I tell people Gary, Indiana, they're like, oh, they know what that is.
So how far is Gary, Indiana, and like East Chicago?
Like 10, 15 minutes. My father and stepfather from Gary. I was in Gary every other weekend.
So you grew up around, like, you knew about the Jacksons and stuff?
Yeah, my fathers went to the same, they went to Westside High School, I think. Or where's one of them, like, my fathers went to the same school as them. Some of their cousins actually still live there. I've been to Michael Jackson's house. I know what that is. Wow. Yeah, man. Gary ain't big, man. So, like, and like I said, I grew up there every other weekend. When I went to East Chicago, I was in Gary.
Wow.
Like, if you look at, like, my first compilation album, I got 2 artists from Gary, Indiana on there.
Shout out to Big A. He an artist from out there, from Indiana. And y'all y'all different, man. Like, what was that artist's name? Who did that song with what was it, Bun B? You know who I'm talking about. He from Indiana. Damn.
He did a song with Bun B?
Oh man, hold on. It was Bump on My. You remember that song, Bump on My Music? What's his name?
No, that's Ray Cash.
Ray Cash. And he from Indiana, or he from Ohio?
He's from Ohio.
Okay.
Freddie Gibbs from Gary, Indiana.
Yeah, Freddie Gibbs, of course. That's my dog.
He's like the main person, but it's crazy. A lot of people don't really know he's from there, but yeah, he's from Gary.
Nah. Freddie,
but
I ain't gonna lie, when Freddie first came out, I thought Freddie, because Indiana, y'all the Midwest, but y'all kind of remind me of us. Like,
yeah,
like it's like every time y'all speak, it's either y'all sound like y'all from Florida, Georgia, Texas.
Like, because it's kind of like any other place. Everybody moved from the South and stuff to that's what like we like people now. Of course, now Chicago, whatever where we're from, we have like a music scene. But growing up, when I grew up, we didn't like there was like the Jay-Z's, like you said, Miami, like they had it was like the Trick Daddies, the Slip and Slides. We didn't really have anything. Like we had Twister, Crucial Conflict was kind of big. We have like a lot of local legends, but we didn't really have a sound per se. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because back in the day,
like we kind of back in the day we didn't really have a sound, so we kind of like picked up everything. So I listened to Pastor Troy, I listened to Wu-Tang, I listened to this, I listened to a little bit of everything because we didn't really have a sound. Like Twister, we all look up to Twister. You know what I'm saying? We love Do or Die, Crucial Conflict. But like I said, we have local legends. You know what I'm saying? We have from Gary, Indiana. I could name all the local legends from there, like from Concord Affiliated to Live or Die and GI. And things like that. Like we knew who about Shauna before she got with Luda when she was with Infamous Syndicate. You know what I'm saying?
So she from East Chicago.
No, she's from Chicago.
Okay.
But you know what I'm saying? Like she would before she got with Ludacris, she was in a girl group, like a duet, I believe. They were called Infamous Syndicate. So she was with them before she got with Luda.
Yeah, I remember because ain't Ludacris from Illinois originally.
Yeah, originally, yeah. But then he moved to Atlanta.
It's crazy. It's like how Kanye, he from Georgia and then he moved to Chicago. Like it's crazy and interesting. But yeah, that's the. And then what about like real cool? What about like Mike Epps? Like
he's from Indianapolis, I believe.
Okay, so he's from Indianapolis. Okay.
He's from Indianapolis.
So like, what's the? Because people ask me this all the time about Florida. So what's the difference like Indiana, for example, like in most states you got north, south, or east, west.
The difference between like where I'm from and like Indianapolis?
Yes, like what's the difference?
Okay, like for instance, when I was in college, like Indianapolis, because they're close to like Kentucky and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
So they
So like they have
country.
more of like a exactly they have more like a southern style. I don't know how it is now, but like the early 2000s, they was like real tapped into like back then tapped into like the gold grills and all that because and because they was closer to like the southern states.
Mm-hmm.
We of course with us me where I'm from being by Chicago, we more took up that style.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so yeah. Indianapolis had like more of a southern part, like kind of southern feel to it because they were closer to the southern states than we were. So that was like the big difference. I don't know how it is now, of course, but like in the early 2000s, yeah, because they were so close to the south,
Mm-hmm.
they had more of a southern feel in certain areas because they were right there.
Yeah, and because Mike Epps, I mean, he sound like I didn't
You
even
sound
know.
country.
Yeah, he country like.
Yeah, because they're closer to the southern states than we are. You know what I'm saying? They're right on the edge, so they can get to those southern states close enough. With us, where I'm from, we right by Milwaukee and stuff like that. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
I mean, y'all kind of
So,
country too, but y'all, it's a different type of because
hmm
it's a lot of people from that's from South Florida.
yes,
Like they a lot of them move from the Midwest, and like
hmm
it's a it's a it's like it's a southern. It sounds like the South, but you can tell it's like a Western type
yeah.
accent. The black folks like I'm thinking y'all. Some of y'all from like here, but a lot of I be thinking too. A lot of y'all family did migrate to the Midwest.
From the south, you're
Yeah,
right.
from
Yeah,
the
most
South.
people
So
like when I meet people, I got family in Chicago. I hear that like every day because everybody pretty much moved from down here or
hmm
wherever you were to up there.
yep.
So everybody got some kind of ties to the south. You know what I'm saying? Like my
hmm
granny was from McGee, Arkansas. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody for like people that's from like the Midwest and like the West Coast. They people either from like Texas or Arkansas, especially
Yeah,
Arkansas.
a small like I've been there.
hmm
It's more stuff now, but back in the day, like when I was a little kid, it was like one street light in the whole town,
hmm
like one grocery store, it was like one phone company or something. Like it's a real small town. You know what I'm saying? She used to pick cotton and everything.
Man, it's crazy, man. I looking at
Hmm
old pictures of Miami from way back in the day, and it was
Don't even look the same.
I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like, and a lot of people be like, damn, what happened? Like, in terms of like where all the trees and stuff, because
Hmm
I don't know if you've been down here.
Yeah, I was just out there. I was on a cruise, man, and
Okay,
we was out
okay,
there like a couple weeks ago.
okay. So, you know, Miami, like Dade County, is like you got your north, south, east, west.
Hmm
But we like Houston, like we go north and south. So the north part, because growing up, I had people, I got cousins and stuff from the south, like from down. We call it down south.
Yeah,
So they used to call me a city boy. So I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Because in my mind, the city, like what we call is like the downtown Liberty City, Little Haiti. That's like the central part of Miami. That's like that. That's what we call the city. Single
right.
digits and stuff like from Liberty City on down to the Grove. So they should call me city boy. I'm like, what you talking about? And they were like, down south, like South Miami, Goose, Homestead, Cutler Ridge, Cutler Bay, um, all it's country. Like
hmm
it's nobody like even to this day with Miami growing as a city. A lot of them people that's down there, a lot of them is old school. Like
Right.
for example, I should do delivery for my god sister, and all my routes was from down south. So
Mm.
when I should talk to the people, like of course, us, like, people from up north, like North Miami and all that, when we get out of, I like to say when we pass the Dixie County line, New York people call us country, but
Right.
everywhere else in the South, we city people. But when you go down there, I'm talking about country, like people from Georgia, Arkansas, the Carolinas, you got Geechee, people from like they get you.
Mm.
So it's different. So it's like I tell people that's from out of town, I tell them I want y'all to show I want to show y'all the whole Miami because people
hmm
look at South
It's a
Beach,
difference.
it's two different vibes. Like down there,
Mm-hmm.
they like their music fast because down in Florida we love our music fast, but there's certain parts in Florida and even in Miami-Dade like we like our music slow. And down there they like their music slow, like screwed and chopped. So it's like, and then up here we more fast music, but you also like the Memphis, New Orleans, Juke, the Jersey, what's it called, the Jersey sound, DC sound, some of that Chicago sound. So it's like anything that moves fast, like the North part, we like that. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
but yeah, man. Every I feel like every state, every city got their own uniqueness to
Yeah,
it.
it's always it's all because when you look on, of course, it's social media now. Even from back on TV, they only show that one side.
Yep.
They only show that one side, but then you being from there, you're like, no, there's a whole different other part. Y'all don't even know about. But of course, that's all they know.
And it's messed up because it's like I remember I knew a girl from Chicago, like from Chicago. And she's from the south. No, she's from the south side. But she was like, because where I'm from, I heard a lot of people north side they root for the Cubs, south side they root for the White Sox.
Root for the Sox. We root for the Sox where I'm from.
Yeah, she was like, nah, my dad root. She said my dad root for the Cubs. I'm like, what?
Yeah, Northern Illinois. Yep, for the North. Yep.
No, but they from the South. I'm like, so why?
Oh, really?
For the Cubs? Yeah, I'm like, she was just like, because I'm like the Cubs and the White Sox. They one of the oldest baseball teams that they've been around since like forever. So,
yep.
But that's crazy. But yeah. So anyway, so let's talk about you and music. Like, what got you started in music? Like, what was that time when you just like, man, I want to get into music?
Like I was saying, every other weekend I was in Gary, Indiana. My older cousin, he's actually a producer too. He actually got 2 placements on one of R.J. Payne's projects that came out like a year or 2 ago. Okay. His name is Lunchbox Bully. I don't know how, him being from Gary, Indiana, but instead of just listening to like just the local music, somehow he got tapped into like East Coast boom bap music. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know where he heard about it, but he put me on to like Wu-Tang, Helter Skelter, Gangstar, and all these groups. So right, and like he, you know what I'm saying, he's so much older than me, so like, of course, he was going to the record stores and the CD stores and buying the CDs, and so when I would come, I wasn't old enough to go get that stuff yet, and so when I would go over there and chill with my cousins, he was like, hey, yo, check this out, and like he'd play me all this stuff, like, well, when I'm going back home, I'm listening to, like you said, the faster, I'm listening to Twister, listening to all the guys, the local, the Graham family, the Gary, Indiana group, stuff like that. But when I go over to him, I'm listening to Wu-Tang. I'm listening to, Helter Skelter. I'm listening to the Boot Camp Clique. I'm listening to all kinds of stuff like this that if I go back home, they don't know who the hell I'm talking about.
Right.
But my cousin put me on to that. Like, my favorite group of all time is Mobb Deep, and my favorite solo artist is Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, Busta Rhymes in my top 10.
See, you know what I'm saying? And so I love Busta Rhymes. So, like, you know what? I got tapped into that when I was, like, before I was a teenager. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's like, and I think this happens with anybody that gets into music as far as production and stuff like that. When it comes to, when I was listening to music, I just immediately, I can't leave I love LL Cool J too. That's my dude. But, you know what I'm saying? I was like, when it comes to, when that CD will play or that tape will play, I just immediately, like, I sounded everything out and I just went straight to the beat. Like, I would just, instead of just listening to it, I was like dissecting the beat. Like, while I was listening to it, I was like, I could hear this snare drum, I could hear the horns, I could hear this, I could hear every sound. And I didn't know, but I knew that was different. I'm like, why am I listening to it? Like, I was like, I didn't know that what I was doing was, I guess, different than other people just listening to it. I was like dissecting the beat, and like, it was just like, I was like, it just caught my mind. And then when I got to high school, in East Chicago Central, there was this class called Recording Lab. And back in like 99, 98, like 2000, there was just one beat machine that everybody had. It was like the beat machine of the hood. It was called the Boss DR5.
Yeah, I've seen that in a lot of documentaries.
Yeah, and it was, it's a straight drum machine, but if you knew how to work it, it was the shit, dude. And you know what I'm saying? And they had like maybe 10 or 12 DR5s. Of course, dudes are stealing them, but you can record and everything. You know, of course, it was like analog to CD, so you heard all the shh. But people was dropping albums and stuff like and mixtapes, that whatever. I don't even think they was called mixtapes back then. But like putting out stuff like that, but they was recording them in school. So, you know, you competing with dudes skipping class, skipping lunch, and whatever the case may be. And so you competing with like 50 to 100 dudes to try to get your time in to somebody was making beats, other dudes was rapping. For me, I looked up how much it cost. I found out how much the thing cost. It was $600. And I was like, man, I ain't got time to get into record lab and wait and fight with all these dudes. So I had an older cousin that was a manager at a Burger King in Gary, Indiana. I got her to finesse my age, whatever, and I started working at Burger King underage. And I worked every weekend. I had no weekends to myself, and I bought the DR5. And so, and then my house is on the first block down from the school, so I let everybody know, all the hood dudes that rap. I'm like, hey, dude, I got a DR5 at the crib. For real? Yep. So after school got out at 2:15, and the late bus came like at 4:30. So from 2:15 to 4:30, well, you said like 2:30, dudes would walk down to my crib, and I had like the whole setup. I had like a CD burner. I found out everything I needed. I had a CD burner, I had the beat machine, I had the mic. I got all that stuff.
And for that to be in the late, people understand the late 90s, 2000, to have that, you use the man for that.
Oh yeah, dude, I was like a Dr. Dre or Jermaine Dupri or something like that, because I had you could ask, like, people remember, I had dudes coming to my house. It was like 10, 15 dudes, hood dudes in my basement, like waiting to record. I had like my mama's old couch when I was a baby. It was all broken up, like the cushion was all cracked and stuff. Dudes was sitting on there. Dudes was sitting on my bed, waiting lined up. I was sitting there making beats, either whether I was by myself or I was working on beats while they was recording for the next dude.
So you was basically like the DJ Screw of East Chicago.
It was bigger dudes than that. We was younger, but like it was like guys that was big. But yeah, for like a lot of little high school, because there's other dudes doing stuff in our school too. But in my area, in my neighborhood, oh yeah, I was the one doing that.
So like, cause I was young. I'm 31, so around that time I was between 6 and 8 years old, 98, 99, 2000. Like being in high school at the time. Being able to, cause I grew up around a lot of music. Of course, I started DJing when I was 15, and I knew in my era, the burning CDs was still there. The new thing was the USBs and the iPods and stuff, you know. But middle school, like, people used to ask me, especially the girls, they used to have me like, hey, Johnny, can you put a playlist for me to get? I'm like, I got you, girl. So that was like dope. The thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, especially for the younger audience that was born around that time, that was born in 98, 99, 2000, like, tell them about that time. Like, how was that? Like,
it was amazing, dude, because, you know, back then, there was no social media. So, like, all we had to go off of was, like, Rap City. We loved, you know what I'm saying, the Rap City, the Basement. We loved TRL on MTV. Yep. And, you know what I'm saying, with us, we loved, you know what I'm saying, magazines, Double XL, Source. That was our social media. So, like, all the stuff you see now with dudes getting into it on social media and drop your address, it was none of that. So, anything you heard about was either through like a DJ putting out some kind of like mixtape, like it wasn't no Gangsta Grills back then, but whatever kind of it was called like a Up in Smoke or Southern Smoke or something like that.
Yeah, Southern Smoke
came out later. Yeah, man, you heard about all the Pastor Troy when he dissed Master P. Oh, dude, that was amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like we that's how we heard about stuff. You know what I'm saying? You'll go to the record store and they're like, you know, I got the new such and such. It's a new and then the dude to let you know. It's a new Beanie Siegel dissing Jadakiss. It's a new this, that. Pastor Troy dissing Master P. I was like, what? And you'll go crazy. You'll spend that $15 like it ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's what we got. And like we like now, like that's why I got Spotify and Apple Music. I keep Spotify strictly because I get to see the credits. There are no credits no more.
No, you don't. Tidal got that too.
I want to see.
Tidal.
Yeah, see, I didn't even know Tidal had.
Tidal, but Tidal break it down. So what Tidal do, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a nerd.
Nothing wrong with
I got all three of them. I got Spotify, Apple, and Tidal. Spotify is, I got it for the cheap because I'm still a student, so it's like $5 a month. But how Tidal do it is, so basically how they platform is, you could be a producer. You may not even have your own page, but they'll make one for you. So like,
that's dope.
I remember what album that was. I just recently heard, and I was looking at the credits. I don't know if it was the Bryson Tiller album. No, it was an album before then that I was listening to. It was one of them new albums. But you go to the credits, and it was like back in the day. You had the CD, you had all the credits. Even you had the writers, the producers, the assistant producer, and everything. So you could, but with Tidal, you could click on them, on each one of them, even the person who made the cover art. You know.
Oh, see, that's cool. I didn't even know that.
So, but yeah, Tidal got that. Like I understand. Like you remember, I'm 31 years old, so I want to say kids born. I'm not gonna lie, kids born after 04, because I got a nephew who was born 96.
They don't know about it.
They know about it, but this is my opinion. So I believe, because when cities fell off, like 2012, right?
Something like that, yep.
So I want to say kids born before 02, 03, they knew about it, but they wasn't living it how we was. They didn't know about
it. It don't mean as much to them as it did to us.
Yeah, they don't know about the 1 cent per album. My sister used to do it. She get the brochure. You remember the 1 cent? You could get like 10 albums.
Oh, and you get all them CDs and all.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy.
I remember that. I never did. I was too young, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was young too, but my sister, she was born. She was older than me. She was born in the 80s, and like she used to get all the stuff used to come every day, or every week, and I used to be like,
I remember that.
But she used to get
we had a record store in East Chicago. I used to walk to the Bomb Records, man. I used to get local stuff, and then whenever. Like when Ja Rule first came, I remember that drop. I bought Nelly's first album. You know what I'm saying? Like that was just the stuff. Like you to walk to the record store, open that up, dude, and I had the little CD player with me. I was bumping it when I walked 4 blocks back to the crib. You know what I'm saying? And I was reading the credits as I was listening to it.
Yeah, man. They Tidal got it. You know, Tidal got. I know Spotify got. I love Spotify. I use Spotify. Mainly for like up and coming artists, independent artists. I feel like they get more shine, and we could talk a little bit about that with streaming coming up.
Yeah,
but I want to finish hearing like your like how time like that, because I agree. Like back in them days, you had Rap City, you had TRL, you had
106 and Park.
106 and Park. You had what's a girl name? Clea's World. What's a girl name?
Cedar's World.
Cedar's World. You had, I remember MTV Jams. You had
MTV Jams. Then you had BT Uncut.
BT Uncut. Oh my God,
dude! That tip drill in the you know what I'm saying? What's that? Ludacris had one too.
Oh yeah, Pussy Pop. Yeah, P-Poppin'.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. Yeah, I remember all that, dog.
The Still Tipping video uncut, bro.
Yep.
Man, that's what I'm saying. Like them kids that was born like from, I want to say maybe 96 to 2004 ish. I want to say 99 to 2004. They don't know nothing about that era.
Dude, that right there. Like the way I make my beats now is because of me growing up in that area. That era, I mean. That's why I make the beats that I make. I make them sound a certain way because I grew up on like, you had to get your shit put on the radio. You had your shit put on the countdown. You had to get your shit put on this channel. So like, I make my shit sound like, as far as like, I want to get my shit played on Rap City. I want to get it played on 106. So how would I make a sound and make it stand out? So because I grew up in that era, I knew what I heard and what I liked, like Rough Riders Anthem and stuff like that, and Whoa and stuff like that. Like I'll try to make my stuff sound like that.
And you know what? I miss that era.
I do too. That's all I listen to, pretty much.
from like 90. I'm just speaking for me, but I remember from like 99 to like I want to say the last probably like 2010 ish. Cause that whole like that for me, that my favorite era will always be the 2000s era.
Mine too.
Because that was when everybody was, you had the Midwest, you had the South, you had the East Coast, the West Coast. That's when reggaeton started coming in.
Yeah.
Reggae always been in there, but reggae gained more respect. Music, R&B, like music was just music back in the day.
Like that, yeah. You don't know, like unless you like was from that time. Like people don't know, like the 50 Cent wave was just ridiculous. Like that shit was crazy when he came in. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people like they make. I still love Eminem. They may like Eminem now, but they don't know when Eminem came out. Dude, he was like a force of nature, dog.
I have this argument with my homeboys, and I'm like, y'all knew this era. Y'all knew that era because we all the same age. And I tell them, I said, I understand most of Eminem, what he be saying, you can't relate, but the way the man used to deliver,
they were terrified of him.
Like the man wrote a song by his own race. Like he dissing his own race.
When I heard the Slim Shady LP, I was like, okay, this is cool. But when I heard the Marshall Mathers LP, I was like, dude, that's when, cause Dr. Dre only had like 3-4 beats on the first one. Cause it was basically like, it was the Slim Shady EP. He just added to it and cleared it up, made it sound better, put it out. But when, the Marshall Mathers LP was all like aftermath beginning to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that was one of the most incredible sounding albums I ever heard in my life.
Ever.
I'll put that album damn near, just like on sound alone, I damn near get anything.
I think what that was one of them albums that went diamond, right? He had
it went down with diamond, and then the one after that went diamond too. The Eminem show went diamond as well.
Yeah, Eminem show, man.
But no, the Marshall Mathers, if you just play them over on the right speakers, dude, just the sound quality. You could tell Dr. Dre and them and Mailman and all. Dude, oh my God. Dude, that album sounds so good. That's one of my top 10 the best albums of all time. It just sounds amazing, dude. I'm like, dude, Eminem, listen to the Marshall Mathers LP. Think about Stan. He made up a song that still sticks to this day.
To this day, like especially in this era when it's new artists.
Stan is amazing.
Like it's. I'm gonna be real with
you.
I'm a Jay-Z fan. I love Jay-Z.
For sure.
Jay-Z's, he's the GOAT, but Eminem to me, when you think about lyrical, when you think about delivery, it's like, that's a bad white boy.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, like that, his first 3-4 album run was Smoke Dudes, man. That Slim Shady EP, Nasty, Marshall Mathers LP. People talking about sophomore, man, that's one of the coolest albums I've ever heard. That was one of the best albums I ever heard. I still play Marshall Mathers LP to this day.
Yeah,
that album is like, it's flawless, dude. I'm like, oh my God, the beats and the stuff he was like, dude. And even with Bitch Please too. I'm like, Dr. Dre, like, what the fuck? I thought Bitch Please 1 on Snoop album was cool. I heard Bitch Please 2 and he had Exhibit on there, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I'm different. Like, God, this album is amazing.
So being a producer, because I want to ask you this, because I love asking my producers, every producer that come on the show.
Okay.
Growing up and working in music, being a producer, working with different artists, I have a lot of questions for y'all, because y'all, us DJs, producers, engineers, we all in that same boat, background people, but we the glue to everything.
Right.
One, what was like your first song that you ever produced, and how did you Was you nervous? Was you just like whatever? Like
Well,
I'm finna do it because I love it. Like how was that?
when I first bought the DR5,
Mm-hmm.
my first pupil, you know what I'm saying, my first person was myself. I think damn near everybody. Like I was making the beats and I was rapping over my own beats. I'm not a rapper, of course, you know what I'm saying, but I practiced on myself. And then like dudes on my block, like my dude, I lived on Northcott. He lived on the other side of Northcott. My homie across the street, Puerto Rican dude named Julio, my boy Edward.
Mm-hmm.
They actually would come over and record. None of us were rappers, but I knew how to make beats. So I would like practice with them. And then when I felt like I got good enough, like my homie, he went to EC Central or East Chicago Central, but he's actually from Gary, Indiana. And he actually is on my compilation that came out in 2021. That's how long we've been making music together. His name is Terry. Terry was one of the first people I actually recorded with. And so once I felt like I was good enough after practicing with my homeboys on my block, then I was like, okay, now it's time to go after the dudes I think that's dope in my school and stuff like that. So, because me and Terry actually went to church together as well. So I've been knowing him since we was kids. And I was like, once I feel like I'm good enough with the beats, because me and my boys always practicing and joking, I was like, now it's time to go to the dudes I think that can really rap in my school. And once I did that, I started going after the rapper.
So
I practice on myself.
So how is that though? Like making beats for yourself, like how was it? Like how did you because I always wanted this from producers, like did you like all right, you made a beat, did you try to design it for yourself or did you like sometimes pretend
No,
like
you know how like everybody when you first start, nobody really has a sound. You pretty much mimic somebody else.
Right.
Like people you mimic people you look up to. Like people like a lot of rappers, like if they like Eminem, they start up rapping like him until they develop their sound. Like I told you, like, you know, where I'm from, we looked up to Twisted, Do or Die, Crucial Conflict. So a lot of my beats had that type of sound.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know what I'm saying, like if you can remember what Adrenaline Rush sound like, you know, we make beats like that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because that was the sound. You know, Twista was the man. I remember seeing him bring Adrenaline Rush to one of the record stores. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, so that was the sound we all mimicked because, you know, everybody from my area, we rap fast. So, like, if you couldn't rap fast, like, what are you saying?
Man.
You know what I'm saying? You had to rap fast. Like, even if you didn't do the whole thing, if you couldn't do some kind of, like, if you couldn't do that, man, you might as well not even get on the mic.
What did that? Because I love doing my homework, but I remember was it Beef 2 when it was Twisted and
with Bone and all them.
Where did that sound originally come from? Because I hear it from Twisted, I hear it from Bone Thugs, I heard it from 3-6. I think
it's just a Midwest thing. Because think about it, like Diane said, you know, I go back to it again. There was no social media, so you know, and we didn't have cars and stuff like that. So how will we know about people in Ohio? How will people in Ohio know about us?
Right.
And how will you know what I'm saying? How will we know what another region, another area sound like? We don't know. I just think it's a Midwest thing, man. Because you know, like, and if you notice though, like, it comes from. I think it comes just like with the sampling. You know, it'll be a slow beat, like some kind of slow type beat, and dudes a rap fast over. I think it just comes from the sound. Like, you know, because it was never like a fast type beat. It was, if you notice, like the melody was usually kind of slower.
Right.
But then maybe the hi hats or something like that or some or whatever that or the metronome that'll be fast, but it'll be like a slower type beat. And the dude will be up in there, you know, it was never like a super fast beat. Now, later on, the beat probably caught up with the person. So, like, the producer probably started, like, I'm going to make a beat to match to how fast you rapping. But the beats was you, like, you listen to Twister, like, a lot of his bigger songs, like Slow Jam, Overnight Celebrity, it's slow beat. Yeah, and then he's rapping fast. So I think it just started over, like, because, you know, before they started really, like, sampling, you know, you'll listen to Teddy Pendergrass, something, you just rapping over with the record. And like then a producer come in, I'm gonna make that into a beat. But you usually just like if you're in your mama house, your granny house, you just rapping over what you hear. You know what I'm saying? So like you rapping over slow stuff, and you just happen to like, oh, this is so slow. I could double time on this. So you just and the beat is going, but it's slow enough so that you can like double time on every bar.
Right.
So I think it's just a Midwest thing. I can't say what, you know, Bone came with the harmony with it. You know what I'm saying? Twister wasn't singing, like he had sing on the hook, but the Bone was like actually doing it in their bars.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. So Twister, like it was similar, and like Crucial Conflict was straight through.
Mm-hmm.
And like Bubba Bone, they'll be singing like while they rapping. You know what I'm saying? Twister wasn't doing that. He was singing like on the hook, but he was like his bars were straight just going fast. So I was like, yeah, they kind of got into it over there, but like, and then there's like the Tech Nines and stuff like that.
Tech Nine.
Yeah, so yeah, you know what I'm saying? We acknowledge all that. But like, no, it was never the same. I think people were just trying, because they were trying to figure out where it came from. But like, I think it's a Midwest thing.
Yeah, because I was gonna say Tech Nine from it's Kansas City, so he
Midwest. Yeah. I think it's a Midwest sound.
So, and I heard a Project Pack interview, and he was saying that 3-6 Mafia had, because you do hear in a sound, they had that type of flow.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about the South, and the thing about that's so unique about the South is so big. You got people, DMV, but it's really Virginia and all that. Like that's still the South, in my opinion.
Right.
It's people from, they be like, Virginia, certain areas of Maryland is the South.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell they from the South, but you could tell they more influenced with the East Coast, even North Carolina. Then you got, the Deep South, the Dirty South, Florida, Georgia, you want to say Tennessee, Texas, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But Texas, you think of Texas is like its own world, but when you hear Texas, they kind of influenced by the Midwest and the West Coast sound.
They are.
So, do you feel like, you being from the Midwest and you living in Memphis now, do you feel like Memphis kind of got an influence from the Midwest? Just because they right there, they is technically right there.
I mean, musically, I really can't. To me, that of course, over time, Memphis has its own identity now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Even though 3-6 was around,
mm-hmm.
all you pretty much knew was Hypnotized Minds. It wasn't all these other people. All you knew was 3-6, and that's it. Then of course they brought out Frazier Boy and Lil White and Project Pat and all these other people. But if it wasn't from like the Hypnotized Minds camp, you really didn't know about nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have an identity where they got all these guys. But like just being out here, period. Like I said, like we were saying earlier, everybody pretty much in Memphis or in the South got ties. They got family that's up north.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we always have some kind of connection. Because like I said, me and BFD Chicago, 3-6 Mafia, they was mainstream, but still had like an underground type feel. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like we knew about 3-6, and like I said, we knew about 8-Ball MJG. Like I forgot about them too. They was Memphis as well. So like we knew about 8-Ball MJG too. I think because everybody like the South, like I said, people had family in the South, and people in the South had family up north. So I think that migration, it will always get back and forth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody will go to a family reunion or something like that, and they'll be like, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? What you listen to? They cousins will be playing 8-Ball MJG. They'll bring it back up north. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's how it kind of came. I think people will go down, visit their auntie or cousins for the summer. And that's how I found Murder Music. I had a bootleg copy of Murder Music, Mobb Deep. I found it in a flea market in Atlanta. And then like months before it came out, I brought it back to East Chicago. I had Murder Music playing it in Gary way before it even dropped.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like that. A DJ had it, burnt like 11. It wasn't even a full album, like 11 songs. The last song on there was The Realest with Cool G Rap on it. Me and my cousin heard that, and we almost lost our mind.
Man, I just feel like in this era, in this era, you still kind of know where people from. When I hear a New York sound, and people think we be, dissing them, I'm like, it was one point in time, like, I tell my homeboys all the time, I said, I miss that, that New York sound, that laid back, but grimy sound. You know what I'm saying? Like
New York sound like the South now.
They sound like the South. They sound like Chicago. They sound like West Coast. Like
That's what people was living when Griselda came around.
And Griselda, I ain't gonna lie, Griselda, they from New York. They sound like they the East Coast, but they do kind of got like a in terms of like the way they style, the way they move. At first, I thought they was from the South or the Midwest. 'Cause, you know, in the Midwest and the South, we first of all, we the babies of this, like compared to the West Coast and the East Coast. So
hell yeah.
But like we always move on our own, on our own, like whenever, like we don't move on anybody else's terms. Like I remember doing my brothers and them used to tell me about the East Coast West Coast beef. He was like, man, in the South and the Midwest, because Bone Thugs, a lot of people used to play Bone Thugs a lot down here. A lot of Twister too, because that's how I got on Twister, my brother, and they was like, why they Tupac and all them was doing whatever they doing. Master P was getting his money. Jay Prince, Uncle Luke.
They stayed out of it.
Yeah, in the Midwest, you got Common, you got Bone Thugs, you got Twister. You had artists that, man, we trying to go. We trying to come up. Eminem from Detroit, like. Now it's just like it's the sound, like everybody sound the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's crazy.
How do you feel about that as a producer? Like,
yeah, you know what's crazy? I mean, I felt that firsthand because I told you, remember, I got back into producing in the middle of the pandemic, and so when I'm coming in with these samples and these boom bap beats, dudes are like, "What the fuck?" Like, I was getting criticized, like, 'cause, in 2020, that's when Lil Yachty was around, Lil Pump was around, Lil this person, Lil that person, this person, that. You know what I'm saying? I was battling against them, that sound. So I was getting criticized by trap producers all day long. Like 2020, I was getting, like, I ain't gonna lie, I was getting smoked verbally. You know what I'm saying? I post a beat up, you need some 808, you need this. I'm like, dude, what the hell? I'm like, no, that's not what I do. So I was like literally like fighting to stay afloat because I was dealing. Because, you know what I'm saying, in 2020, dude, all the little guys, whatever you want to call them, them dudes was winning. If you ain't sound like that, if you didn't sound like Lil Pump, if you didn't sound like this person, that person, whatever, but you see all those guys are gone now.
They're gone.
They all gone. Like, Migos was hitting. All them dudes, you had to deal with that.
But
so I was fighting through that.
The Migos and me, though, they was different, though. I think.
Yeah, they were, but they was like of that sound. But I mean, to me, honestly, like Thug and Future was like the pioneers of that sound.
Yeah. Like,
you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? After all them, it spawned all these other dudes. Like it was like Thug came in, like he was like the new wave for new guys. Of course, then you get like the Chief Keef, all that stuff. Them dudes came in, dude, and just opened up a new wave of guys. And so then, of course, and then all the trap producers came. So in 2020, I was battling that, and everybody had that sound. And then me being that boom bap dude, you know what I'm saying? That, at first, oh, dude, I was getting smoked. I was getting, nobody was messing with me. But, you know what I'm saying? But I sounded different than everybody because everybody was sounding like, if you go on YouTube, such and such type beat. I don't make type beats, but I was dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? So I was, you make a such and such type beat, make a lo-fi. No, I don't do that. I want like I told you, I want myself to sound like Whoa. I want myself to sound like the Rough Riders Anthem. I want myself to sound like Down Bottom. I don't make lo-fi. I want myself to be straight up like hitting. You know what I'm saying? Like knocking and stuff like that. So I had to fight through that. And it's all 2020, I was fighting through it. In 2021, man, like that summer, it really started to pan out for me. But it took like a year straight. Like I was just fighting.
That's when I around that time, I want to say that's when I started losing my passion for DJing. Don't get me wrong, having conversations like this want me to start DJing again, but one of the main reasons why I stopped DJing, like the real truth about it, is that everything started being the same. Like, at that time, like being from Miami, being from Florida, everybody wanted to try to be like Atlanta, you know, at one point. Thank God them boys from Broward, even certain artists from down here from Miami that they not mainstream yet, but like the Zoe Dollars, the Denzel Currys, like they,
right,
especially Denzel a backpack rapper, but if you really listen to his sound, he was influenced by Miami and Memphis sound. So he had that he had our sound pretty much overall.
right.
He had our sound. Everybody else was trying to sound like from Atlanta, and like when I was getting music from different people, I knew artists for a while. You know how like I was just having this conversation with my boy Ricardo. He's a director and writer. So producers, DJs, directors. We work with people. People work with us. They work under us. So when I start seeing artists doing one thing, then they try to go with the wave. I'm like, bruh, I'm not finna do that.
Right.
I'm it is certain new artists that, they songs hit, but it was just like, I'm not finna sell my soul to get a quick buck. Like, I really love music. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, when I started seeing that transition, and thank God the J. Cole's came with that KOD and all that, he killed all that.
Right.
That's when then during the pandemic, I feel like not only new people started being more creators, but you start seeing people from our generations before we started, gaining back. Like, you know what? Let me get back and making beats again. Let me get back in DJing and stuff.
People have more time on their hands.
Yeah. So, and then when you look at the verses, what the verses did, the verses, gave like homage to the legends.
People who was doing stuff back in the day.
Yeah, like like the Manny Fresh and even though that was to me that was probably one of the stupidest battles because Manny Fresh and Scott Storch, they don't mix together. Scott Storch
and then, and Manny Fresh is in house.
Yeah. Scott Storch was all over the place. Scott Storch.
Yeah, so that was unfair.
Yeah, Scott Storch should have went someone against like Pharrell or somebody like.
Exactly. That wasn't fair, dude. Even with the Swiss Beats and the Just Blaze was in house.
Yeah, that's not fair.
It's not fair, dude. I know exactly what you mean. I wasn't fair. I'm like, Swiss Beats didn't work with everybody. Dude, Just Blaze was strictly Rockefeller. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not cool, man. Like, of course, he only gonna have a select few people he worked with. Yeah, so that wasn't cool. But I definitely feel what you're saying.
How did you feel about that though? Like talking about the verses a little bit, like as a producer.
Of course, you said during the pandemic it was the shit because everybody was at home. You had no choice but to be in the house. Most people had like either was like laid off or like had a certain type of job working from home. But now stuff is pretty much back to normal. So verses aren't really the same anymore. You know what I'm saying? It don't hit the same. But like in 2020, oh yeah, verses. Oh my God, that was what else did you have to do? You know what I'm saying? You couldn't wait for the next verse to come on the following month or whatever because like you was in the house all day anyway, or whatever the case may be. So like you couldn't go anywhere. There were no clubs. You couldn't really go to the store. Stuff was shutting down early. So verses was like, oh man, it was like the thing to do. Yeah, it was a thing to watch. It was because you had nothing but time on your hands. I was like, now, you know what I'm saying? You can go anywhere. You can create your own verses now.
So let me ask you this.
So it's not the same.
So let me ask you this. Who you think will win the battle, P. Diddy or Jermaine Dupri? And why?
Ooh. Overall, I feel like it would be Diddy because, you know what I'm saying? Like, but people sleep on Jermaine. I watched Jermaine Dupri, his MPC and so he worked the beat machine. He's nasty. But like the fact is, like, majority of like half of his damn catalog, or probably like a piece of it, I say half, would be like the kid stuff. You know what I'm saying? But if he really go to, because you know, like Puffy has Black Rob, he got Biggie. You know what I'm saying? And he got this, like Jermaine Dupri got a couple hip hop things, but Jermaine Dupri, his bag was more R&B.
But that's my argument though. Like
R&B, he a smoke puffy.
Yes, that was my argument with my homeboy. I said, listen, rap, Diddy blowing him out. Like even with Diddy when he had one hit wonders, or when he had like at one point he had French Montana, he had MGK, artists like that really
Shine.
Yeah, Shine, all of them, like.
But no,
they had hits.
R&B, he can't fuck with Jermaine.
Jermaine got, first of all,
Jermaine got Usher, he got Mariah Carey. Come on, you can't come. Who does he have that compete with Mariah Carey? Nobody.
I mean, people would say Mary J, but
no.
Mary J, you going against Usher. To me, Usher alone, that's
He'll smoke. He'll do. Dude, Mariah Carey has the #1 Christmas song of all time.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, he can't. Jermaine Dupri, R&B wise,
and he got Janet
Jackson. Will smoke.
Escape.
That's what I'm saying. He'll smoke. He'll smoke puffy, dude. Like R&B wise. Now, like on the rap scene, Jermaine can't mess with him.
Yeah, no.
He got a couple things. He got like Money in a Thing, and Welcome to Atlanta. He got a couple. He got a couple things in there he could throw in there, and the Brat and stuff like that. But Jermaine got Jagged Edge. Man, hell no. He a smoke puffy, dude.
And I think with that versus, it'll have like Jermaine Dupri have to be very strategic, like for him to win it, because you can't fall. And this is what I've seen with some verses. You can't fall in the trap of, all right, like I'm going to play what he play. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna play that certain style, knowing damn well you don't have that style. Like you just do you, And I feel like I believe, this is my opinion, Diddy gonna have the first half, but I think Jermaine Dupri gonna have the second half. And it's gonna
and I think what's gonna get people too, people are gonna be surprised to find out what Jermaine Dupri is tied to.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna be, he did this, he made this. This is gonna blow their mind, because like people don't know it. Like when he made like the doom 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 doom, doom pressure. Like people don't know he made that. A lot of people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Like he got some stuff, dude.
It's like the because even coming from Miami, I kind of underestimated Trina in that Eve battle. When I listen to Trina catalog, I'm like, Trina got a catalog. Like
she does.
I'm like,
I had the Baddest Bitch album. I bought that shit.
Man, like I'm talking about even her features. Like Trina been like, because Eve. I'm like, Eve is Eve. Eve got hits. Eve could rap and stuff. But I'm like, I can't believe I slept on Trina like in that battle, and it was a great battle too for like female artists. It was a great battle. Because you talk about, it goes back to our generation. That was the 2000s, like that was the best era, especially for, you got female artists now, but you got artists like, what's my girl now? I was just talking about her the other day, from North Carolina. Rhapsody, she don't get the respect in terms of this era, as far, because to me, lyrically, she could go up against anybody, any man.
Oh yeah, she's cool.
I just feel like it's like sports. Like you got certain players that's just they should have been in a different era. I feel like Rhapsody would have been perfect for the 2000s.
Yeah, because just like now, she's competing with the stripper pole rap girls, the twerkers, the girls who sell their body more than their music.
Mm-hmm. And it's just like, imagine like, Rhapsody on one of your beats. You get what I'm saying?
I would love to work with Rhapsody. Yeah, like you said, if she grew up in if she came up in like the Murder Inc., Rough Rider, Rockefeller era, it'd be over.
It'd be over. Like,
but she dealing with the Lottos and what's the Benzino's daughter, and then Cardi B, and Megan Thee Stallion. She's dealing with that. Girls, you got to deal with their bodies more than their music.
Mm-hmm. and
So that's what she's dealing with.
And that's sad. Like, don't get me wrong, Cardi B. Like, I was listening to Cardi B album the other day, Invasion of Privacy.
Mm-hmm.
Great album for this era. Like,
right, of course,
great album. But like when you think about lyricism,
no, it's
come
not
on,
there.
man. Like Rhapsody, like, and then she got Knife Wonder. Like, it's like it don't make no sense.
Yeah, this like I think I know what West Side Gun's doing because like Armani Caesar looks like
Marty
those
Caesar
girls,
raw.
but then they got her. She got the boom bap, grimy, gritty sound. So like that's super smart. She got the look. She looks like the Lottos and Megan Thee Stallions, but then she sounds like them. So it's like, oh, that's super smart. Because she's the eye candy, but then she got that grimy sound, which is crazy.
I think she's gonna have you right, the way they set her up, because I didn't even know she was part of their group until I started listening to her music. I'm like, damn, it do make sense because she is the eye candy. She look bad, but like you listen to her music, you look at her covers and everything, and it's Griselda written all over it. That they got a game plan for her, and I just hope that she be the one.
Yeah, if she could stand the test of time,
man, it's crazy. Like, all right, so this is another question I want to ask you too. Cause I asked all my music heads, everybody working music.
Okay.
I kind of know the answer, but I still want to ask you this because how do you feel about streaming? Do you think streaming hurt or help the music industry?
As far as mainstream, of course, people aren't getting their just due as far as paid out. You know what I'm saying? But it made it easier for certain people to, back in the day, if you didn't, if you had to go to a Capitol Records, you had to go to an Interscope and Atlantic and all that to get heard. Now, you know what I'm saying? Yep. You don't need that to necessarily. Now, if of course you want that bag of that machine, it definitely makes a difference. But a guy like me, when it comes to streaming services, you know what I'm saying? Now a couple hundred people know who Furious Stylez is. So I look at it as far as that way, it's definitely like great on as far as us. Now, as far as mainstream, I can't speak for them. You know what I'm saying? I know it's like they're not getting paid like how they probably should be. But like now, I can get heard. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking to you because you heard me on the streaming service.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I look at it that way. It's like, it's like two sides to the coin. Like, of course, they're not getting paid. Like, of course, I'm not getting paid like that. But like, people can hear what I sound like, and people can hear my beats now. So it's like everything has a pro and a con.
I feel like I'm the same way. I'm the same way. It's just I feel like it kind of hurt more than help.
Oh yeah, definitely did.
You talk about the money. It's the money too, but it's really about the creativity.
Like, yeah, and it's saturated, it's watered down.
Because I'm glad you brought that up too, with your production, because 2Jibs, I don't know how to pronounce it right.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bad boy. Y'all need to continue to do work, and you need to tell him. You need to tell his ass. Cause I've been trying to get him on the podcast for so damn long.
Yeah,
I be telling him, he like, man, bro, just let me know. I'm like, dog, I hit you up, and I don't normally do this, but he's raw, because I feel like he's one of them artists that I'm not saying he get lost, because he has a following, like just like you got a following, y'all got a cult following, but I feel like if he was in the CD era,
he'd be cold.
He'd be cold. It's like. Cool, you get a few thousand listens a month or whatever, but I just feel like the combination that y'all have, y'all would have I want to say even like the late 2010s, the beginning of 2010s, like it would have been like crazy already. I mean, y'all gonna get it soon. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of time, y'all would have already been like up there already. And I think that's why it hurt. You know, that's why I feel like streaming hurt because it's too much. Too many people that trying to rap.
Anybody could upload music now. I think what's crazy speaking of him, the reason why I think it caught people off guard because they would never expect me and him to work together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I've been watching him for a while. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And when I started my Basement EP series, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna throw a curveball. I reached out to him. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, me being where I'm from, I don't just do the soulful boom bap. You know, coming from East Chicago, I could make that sound.
Mm-hmm.
I could make that sound I made for him. So I was like, you know, I come from that sound, that type. I was like, I could mix the boom bap with like the grimy, more of a like a different dirty sound. So
yeah, he's from Jersey, right?
He's from Jersey, yeah. So that even like that first song I made, like you said, I told you, I love Rough Riders anthem. I gave him like that. Yeah, I gave him like a dark, gritty anthem. You know what I'm saying? On this track one, it's like a underground, like dusty anthem. You know what I'm saying? It's like you hear a chant in the background. You know what I'm saying? So I gave him like just a ski mask anthem or something. You know what I'm saying? So and that's like one of his most popular songs, if I remember right.
So real quick, because you know he's one of my favorite new artists, like up and coming artists. And once again, I hope when he listen to this, he really be like, "All right, I'm gonna come on the show." How is it working with him? Because you always working. Like I look at your catalog. I look at his catalog. You know, y'all always working. Like, how was it? Like, how was the process?
Oh, dude is super nice and super cool, man. Like, you know, like his just initially seeing his Instagram, he's like, "You dude like crazy," you know what I'm saying? But no, super nice dude, man. Like super humble, man. Like, you know, it's like me talking to you right now. He was super cool. Like, man, appreciate you, Furious. He was cool as hell. Like, super nice guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wear the mask and all that, but like, dude is a nice dude. Like, he comes in the beats. I got the music back in a nice amount of time and stuff like that. Like, he was appreciative. He was humble with it. Like, yeah, super nice guy, dog. Like what he does, what you see, he's like, if he's cool with you, man, like the nicest dude in the world.
I just need him on the damn show.
Yeah, he's cool as hell, dude. Like he's funny too, man. But he's very humble and cool, man. Very professional. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a dude you were like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's gonna wear the mask, but you know what I'm saying? You could chill with him. You know what I'm saying? Be cool with him. I don't know if he's gonna wear the ski mask too, but yeah, cool as hell, man. Yeah, Jesus, he's a super cool dude.
So besides him, of course, you know he up and coming because we can talk about him all day. What other artists have you worked with that you should like? You want people to listen to?
Of course, my boy that put me on, Numbs, also from Jersey. He's from the big city. He put me on. He's the first person to give me a chance. I went from making one song with him to doing his whole next album that came out September 2021. I produced that whole album, so that's what kind of got me in the game. Numbs, of course, a Bill Mary. You know what I'm saying? He's from the DMV. You know, Cash Flow. He's currently living in DMV, living in Virginia, but he's from Brooklyn. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I've worked with I Am God. I got one song with I Am God from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So there's a bunch of guys out there. Patty Honcho from New Jersey, Black Shadori. You know, I can go on and on.
But that's what I was saying earlier. Like that sound, like you could hear in they sound. They are influenced. They the new school. They got some of that. You know, I like to say quirky. Like certain words they say is quirky to me because I'm older. But it's like I can play it the whole day. Like I can listen to it because the beats alone, you know, you blessed with the beats. But it's like I could tell you challenged them. You challenged the I'm just speaking for him. I ain't listen to the other projects yet, but I could tell you challenged artists. You challenged
I appreciate that.
You challenged the rappers like, hey, this beat right here, you better smoke this.
You know, when I make it, you know, sometimes I have a person in mind. Like I made a beat for I Am God. I had him in mind. When I made the beats I made for 2Gs, I had him in mind. And like I said, coming from that 106 in Park and something like that era, what's on 106 in Park, TRL, Rap City, I'm thinking like, and I always keep this in my mind too. Just because I am underground doesn't mean I have to sound underground. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of guys feel like I'm underground. I got to sound underground. No, the hell you don't. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like just because I am underground, I think about because I'm like, to me, my 106 in Park is making it on a playlist or getting my stuff retweeted or getting somebody to talk about it. I'm like, so what kind of beat can I make for me to get on somebody's playlist or for me to get retweeted? So I make my beats that way. I make my beats because I want them to get retweeted and spoken about. So I make them with the intentions of them being in the conversation. You know what I'm saying? I make them like that on purpose. Like whatever I make my beats, I make them with the intention of getting in the conversation or making it somewhere. Like I want somebody to talk about it. I do that on purpose. I'm not trying to sound underground at all.
But still got
I'm not trying to sound commercial. Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like in between because certain beats they sound like they could be on the radio, but at the same time
they still like underground
mistape.
Yeah.
Like it's like remind me of you have your own sound, but like Ninth Wonder.
I appreciate it.
Ninth Wonder got that sound that it's him and what's my boy name, the white boy, Alchemist.
I love both of them.
They have beats where it's commercial, but then they have beats where it's underground. But people, it's weird. It's like
a board, like a fine line.
Yes. So it's kind of like even I listen to 40 Drake producer. When I listen to some of the songs that Drake put on a mixtape or he didn't try to push, I'm like, Drake, that could have been pushed. It's an underground vibe, but that could have been pushed as a commercial. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
even as the song is an underground vibe, it can still be pushed as commercial. It's like being an athlete that's like a quarterback, like a dual threat quarterback, like a Lamar Jackson.
Right, it's like on some and one type shit. Like it's like when they begin, like everybody started when that 1-2 years or whatever, everybody and one was bigger than the NBA.
Yes,
it's kind of like that. That's what I try to go for. Like I know I'm underground, but like I want to have like a mainstream sound.
Yes, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. And how does it work? Like, do you find these artists? Because I got a couple artists in mind that.
Oh yeah, I actually do my research, man. Like I'm not in the background, but when as far as musically, I don't like pre-announce stuff. I got a song coming with such and such unless I know it's gonna drop for sure. I don't pre-announce nothing, but I'm always doing like rapper recon. I'm kind of just always watching people. Like I may not respond to everybody as far as their music, but like what I'm saying, I listen. If somebody posts stuff up, I'm watching everybody.
I'm telling
you. Know what I'm saying? Because not saying I'm like a Dr. Dre or nothing like that, but like what I'm saying. Again, I'm like if I feel like my sound could possibly match with somebody, I definitely reach out.
No, forget that you are. Don't you be humble, but your word speak for itself.
I appreciate that, man.
But it's artist Valona Denise. She from Jersey. I feel like y'all would be amazing. Sir 7000. He from down here. He from West Palm Beach. Him and his girl, Abika. Like that would be amazing. My boy DRC. He from Carol City. You would challenge him. It's like. Even though I tell people I'm not a DJ, I still love music. I still treat, when I listen to music, I still treat like I'm about to go DJ a party. So when I listen to these artists, music, I'm like, bruh, like, I can put him with this artist and they could, collaborate, or I could put him with this producer.
Yeah, so, I'm always down to work with somebody new, man. That's kind of like what I'm known for.
That we got, once we get off this podcast, I'm gonna start sending you artists that they Spotify's. Just listen to them. I'm telling you, I just feel like because artists don't understand is that, like it or not, y'all producers, y'all challenge these artists, y'all bring the best out of them.
Right.
You know, and for me, you know, I'm young, but I feel like an old head. I'm 31. I tell these young kids, I'm like, bruh, if you put Kodak with a Dr. Dre, with a Pharrell, I mean, you already heard it. Cause he was on that song with Gucci and Bruno. I think that was a Pharrell beat. I think.
Like it's a whole different. It brings something out of him.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, a producer like yourself. It's like you could bring. I could see it. You could bring out, you know, artists like they sound like it's like they, cause you know, especially rappers, they like to be covered.
Like they tap into something.
Yes. So it's just like, and I'm telling you, once we get off this podcast, I'm gonna start sending you some links.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm down with it, man. Like I'm always trying to. I love working with new people. Like I said, from my first compilation, it's like half of the compilation is people nobody ever heard of. But like, you know, I'm like, shh, I don't care. I like you, so we gonna work.
Okay. And then got a couple more questions. So the first question is, who is in your top 5 of producers of all time?
Oh my God. DJ Premier. I love DJ Scratch. Havoc. RZA.
RZA had a project that came out late 2022. It was hard.
Oh yeah, of course. You already know. I know. Kung Fu Theater.
Yes, it's hard.
Yeah, you already know, Dad. You know, I know. Who else? I can Alchemist. I could just go on and on, dude. Oh my God, you could put Dre in there. I can go on forever, dog.
Man, it's a lot of heavy hitters, but okay, so
that's what I'm saying.
All right, so if you was to choose 5 to work with, like they say, hey, Furious, like I'm coming to your studio in 5 minutes. Who would be that 5 that you would want to work with?
Producers? As far as just like that sound quality, I love to work, just sit down with Dr. Dre. Just because like the way his stuff sound, like I just, whatever you can tell me in that 5 minutes, let me know. How them kicks sound like that and how them snares sound like that. Let me know what I need to tweak. As far as like that dark, like I love, my favorite album of all time is Hell on Earth. So Havoc, just like that shit, that whole album sounds like a horror movie. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my favorite rapper is Busta Rhymes, and my favorite album is Extinction Level Event. So you can give me DJ Scratch. You know what I'm saying? I just want to just like just let me talk to you. You know what I'm saying? It's like let me be in a room with you. Who else would it be? Like I said, Alchemist. Yeah, come on, sir, please.
Alchemist.
Let's just have a conversation. And then 5th person, you could give me, you know what? Because I'm from the crib, you know what I'm saying? I love Adrenaline Rush. Give me the legendary tracks he produced, the whole Adrenaline Rush album.
That's some top hitters.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, the fact that he's from the crib, you know what I'm saying? And to me, like, you know, that Adrenaline Rush is a classic. So yeah, let me talk to legendary tracks because like that's that at home sound.
You always got to bring it. You always got to bring it home. That's how I am too. Like
when
I think about DJs, you know, DJ Drama, DJ Clue. But I had to bring it home. You know, Uncle Luke, Uncle Al.
Right.
You know, like just bringing it home. DJ Drama is like my favorite because when I came up into DJing, I was into mixtapes. So Drama, Cannon, you know, Trendsetter.
Gangsta Grills is
that whole
like, dude. Before that, all that stuff happened with the Rico. Oh, dude, Gangsta Grills was like, you gotta get it. You had to have a Gangsta Grills CD.
And that's another thing too. He bring all that stuff back. I think he got one coming out with Pusha T. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
I took Gangsta Grills. Shit, I remember. Like that one, the T.I. pretty much had like the most like iconic one.
Yeah, that's when he was dissing Little Flip.
Dissing Flip. Oh my God.
He was dissing Flip, and then he was dissing Ludacris.
Dude, that Gangsta Grills was crazy. He had Scarface on there talking. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Scarface, I
Gangsta
Grills. Nothing.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Dude, that Gangsta Grills was nasty. I was like, God, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't no social media, so stuff like that is what we couldn't wait for.
Exactly. Like you had to really like it had to be word of mouth. Like even when it was on the internet, like people were, oh snap, it's on that pip. Like someone had to stay on that website.
Yeah, it wasn't stuff popping up every 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, no, it was just like you had to wait. But it never seemed like people don't know like even with the Jay-Z and the Nas thing, like when Jay-Z dropped the Takeover, you know, remember, people don't really like Takeover. I mean, Ether came out like 3 months later. It wasn't like he dropped that shit like the next week. Ether came out like 3 months after Takeover. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was like back then, it wasn't no. It got to come out right now. You know what I'm saying? Like Nas had to sit on that for a little bit.
Yeah, it's not it's not microwave. Like it's not.
Yeah, Takeover was riding for a while.
Yeah, man. And then like for the last question, where do you see yourself out of 10 years from now?
Man, dude, like I said, with more equipment. I think I said because they came out with the MPC Key 61. I think I'm gonna go ahead because I've been saying I want me a keyboard. I think I'm gonna go ahead and enhance my production. I'm gonna give me a keyboard in the next year or so, man. Just as long as I can, people liking what I'm doing, man. I'm gonna keep doing it. Like I said, I was doing it since I was 15. And so now that I got the opportunity, man, like I said, there's no age limit to it. You know what I'm saying? As people want it, and like, of course, I would love to get a major placement or start working with major artists. But the fact that I could just get heard now, even if I was just doing it locally like I was doing it back then, like my goal is to keep going. I would love, I have a feeling something's going to happen.
No, it's going to happen.
But I mean, I appreciate that. Even if it don't, I don't even care, dog. I love producing that much.
Nice.
I love producing that much. Like I don't even care. I can keep working with guys on the underground level because I'm cool with that. The fact that I can go on Spotify, Apple Music, and you can title and you can see my stuff, dog. That means everything to me.
Yeah, man. It's like that's why I say it's a pro with the streaming service because it is more free access. And for me, what I like to do is when I like someone music or album. Of course, I rate it, but I still like to shout them out because so many. Like I remember, I forgot what group that was. It was a up and coming. I think it was like a pop group. I gave they album like a 7 out of 10. They was like, "Come on, man, it's a 10 out of 10." I was like,
"No."
I like we'll see in the if I hear their music, like the next song or whatever. I like to do that. I like even though I don't DJ as much no more. I like to challenge artists. If
I got a 7, I'm happy with it. The fact that you take your time to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody tried to speak on behalf of me a couple weeks ago. They put like the best underground producers, like the top 10, and they said my name is number 10. Then they went up, and it was like, man, Furious Stylez should be higher. I was like, dude, I'm not tripping. The fact that I'm on it out of all these other producers. It's way more than 10 underground producers. The fact that I made the top 10, I'm giving I'm 11.
Think about
it. You know what I'm saying? The fact that I'm in the conversation, that's all I care about.
Yeah, because it's a lot. It's a lot of y'all, but you gotta understand, like being the top 10, whatever underground commercial, especially in this era, there's so many. It's the competition is heavy now because everybody.
Definitely.
But to be in the top 10 and growing, that's a blessing, and like that's also showing you that your peers, they give you so much respect.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like I said, just to be in the conversation, dog. That's all I care about. The fact that you even mentioned me, you know what I'm saying? And like it was like Nicholas Craven and all that. Would you say my name in the Nicholas Craven conversation? I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what number I am. The fact that you even talking about me, the fact that I'm talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 years ago, though, I was just sitting in my we lived in a different house. 2 years ago, I was just posting up beat videos on Instagram every day. Now I'm talking to you. You see what I'm saying? Like that's a major step for me.
And we're gonna have more conversations because, like I said, it's you know, no, for real, because you, well, number one, you produced one songs. You did a collaboration. You did a project with one of the artists that I've been wanting to been on the show for a while. And
Yeah.
then two is like, I got so many artists that would, you know, you would like love to work with, and I would love them to work with you because I feel like, you know, like I
Well,
said
like
earlier,
you said, when we get off, we're gonna keep conversing, man. We
yeah.
might have to work on something because I've been looking for a DJ for like a year straight.
Hey, you know what's crazy?
Hmm.
I've been telling, you know, people, especially like everybody's in the music industry, when I interview like producers, DJs, artists,
Mm-hmm.
I told him, I said I will come out of retirement. Like I got a cousin. He from here, but he live up in Indiana because he was in the
Yeah.
Cause y'all like military. It's military bases up there too and stuff like that.
Right.
Like down here, we got military bases down here. But him and his wife stay up in Indiana, and I don't know, is it Indiana or Ohio? No, I think it's Indiana. But anyway, he DJ. He got a gig. He DJ now. And I
Mm-hmm.
was telling him that's what's up. He was like, man, when you gonna get back to DJing? I think I told him I may have to get out of retirement, but my sound on the show was it had to take it got to take one or two people to get me out of retirement for me to DJ. Because I'm not gonna lie, I still got the passion for it.
Yeah.
It just got to be the right opportunity. So
Right.
we could talk about that too. You know. How you want me to do it or whatnot? We gonna talk about
Yeah,
that.
because I want to make like because like the basement, like what you heard 2Gs, me and him did. I wanted to make it like a gangster grill, but I didn't know a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
If I could have somebody like you like host it, and I make the production, and you like host it, that's everything.
Let me know what I need. You know, I
Yeah.
still got my
We gonna talk.
drops.
Yeah, we see, and that's what I need. I need that because I got the production. We get the rapper. You know what I'm saying? You do your thing to it. We put that together, and that's the full package. That's what I've been looking for like over a year. I've reached out to different DJs, man, but it just never works out.
Hey, y'all hear it first. I'm down to do it because
Hey, I need that, man. I've literally been looking for since like all last year. I want to find a DJ.
Hey, you know what? I'll send you my stuff I did a long time ago. Like it may sound whack now, but not whack.
No.
But I want to say outdated because it's been so long. Now for me, I believe the artists that I work with, every single one of them, some of them not here with us. Some of them, unfortunately, probably got locked up. Some just never, wanted to rap again because I stopped DJing. But when you listen to my mixtapes, you can see like where I was trying to go at, But
right.
I'm down.
Yeah, because even like the people you mentioned, if we can get some of them, and you can host that, and I could be the producer. You know what I'm saying? You can gather your people up. You know what I'm saying? You can collab on something. You know what I'm saying? You can get the people you was mentioning. We can work out something, and we could start our own thing.
And I got one dude too. He really need a producer. He's from Denver, Colorado. My boy, Mid Official. He's another artist that I had him on the show. You could look him up on I send you the link to the episode. I'm gonna send you the music. I'm gonna send you the interviews that he did with me. But he doing his thing right now. Like I'm proud of him. Like shout out to you, Mid. Like I'm really proud of you because he's one of them artists that he did a lot of sacrifice. Him, my girl Valona, my homeboy Sir Seventh, all of them, like they take the leap of faith. Some went to go out of their home. Some had to come back to home to finish what they need to do in terms of their passion of music. And,
Yeah.
and yeah, like we gonna be working. So
I'm ready, dog. I'm ready.
Just let me know what you need me to do, and I got you.
For sure. I'm down with it.
But before we close out the show, you got any shout outs?
Yeah, man. Like I said, shout out to you first off, man, for having me on. I definitely appreciate it, man. Shout out to my boy Nums for giving me the opportunity at the beginning when nobody knew me, even he didn't know me. I just DM'd him, you know what I'm saying, like anybody else. I DM'd him, you know what I'm saying, to get to this point where now I have my own little kind of platform. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my wife for, like, you know, when I bought my beat machine, I told her it was going to be a hobby. She said, no. She said, you're going to do it. Make it, you know what I'm saying? Do it for real.
That's love.
Which I did. You know what I'm saying? She the one that told me. She's like, if you're going to do it for real. I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? And it worked out, man. Like I said, shout out to Memphis. I've been here for almost 10 years. Shout out to East Chicago. You know, that's where I'm from, man. And all just the underground producers and artists, man. Everybody keep working, man. Like, you know, because 2-3 years ago, nobody knew who I was. You know what I'm saying? I was just in my house making beats, posting Instagram videos. And now, you know, I'm having interviews. You know what I'm saying? Just, even though, you know, I'm not signed to no label or nothing like that, but now people taking their time out to want to hear my story. So, you know what I'm saying? So just keep going.
No, this was dope. You know, we had our challenges to come on the show, but we all got real life, you know, outside of music, outside of media.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
That's one of my favorite, like, interviews. Like, when I tell people that, I'm like,
I appreciate it.
I'm dead serious. Like, all my interviews are my favorites, but when I actually say it, like, this is an interview I actually, you know, enjoyed. You know that.
I appreciate that. Yeah, man. This is dope. It's like regular conversation, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. And this has been your boy
DJ Anonymous.
DJ Anonymous with another episode of Sports Biz Music with my boy Furious Stylez, and we out. Peace.
Appreciate it.